we don't, our advertising is going to have very little value moving forward, right? We know that if we put ads out in the market that consumers can skip with their remote controls, or they can block out, or they can choose not to interact with, we're going to spend a lot of money that's going to go nowhere. So it's very important, it's critical moving forward that consumers can interact with it and make it their own and share it. And I think what we've been deciding as an agency is to try to create a process, a point of view that we call social creativity. So how do you create an emotional connection and start a story with the consumer, use traditional media to sort of set the table to kind of get the word out, and then move to social media and the web to allow consumers to interact with the idea, spread the idea, and amplify it, and generate distribution and earned media, right? So it's kind of a roadmap that we're creating. I think there's measurements along the way, you know, how much interaction we get with our idea, how much pass around and sharing we get, how much time people are spending with it. These are all interesting milestones along the way to see if we've got an idea that's working, that ultimately spreads and really drives sales for the brand. Absolutely kind of learning from the last thing we did and applying it to the next thing. When we work with a brand, we create some content and maybe it doesn't really get shared that much, and then we can look at it and say, well, you know, a lot of people saw the idea but they didn't share it, and what can we learn from that? And then when we do the next thing, well, you know, we got into it, we discovered that we didn't make it easy enough to share, or it wasn't good enough to share, or something, and then that informs our next idea. This is also a challenge because as an industry, as advertisers, we often think in campaigns. You know, you get a brief, you create something, you broadcast it, and then it's over, next thing. In the social space, we talk more about ongoing conversations. How do you keep things going all the time with consumers? Because if you're going to get them excited about an idea and they're going to participate and share, and then all of a sudden the idea is over, I mean, you know, they're not going to be happy about that. So what we've been trying to do is think almost more like newspaper editors in traditional media, and like you need a 12-month editorial calendar, you need a 12-month conversation calendar to know how you're going to ebb and flow the story and what things that you're going to have for consumers to do over time so that they stay engaged in the idea. I think the Pepsi Refresh project, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's been an ongoing dialogue that Pepsi has had with its consumers to say, you know, let's all do some good together and join the conversation, put forward your ideas of doing some social good. And that's been going on for pretty close to a year now, I think, and an ongoing dialogue of being able to solicit ideas from consumers, actually do them, and then feed back to the community, look what was done, what should we do next? And then it's sort of carried on a dialogue. I like that one. We have these two brands, DDB and Tribal DDB, but we are really one company. And so moving ahead, in order for us to be successful, delivering social creativity, we have to work together because we have to bring these ideas to life in the digital arena. So digital is only going to get more and more important. But I think what I was trying to say too a little bit is the need for great ideas, the importance of the creative idea is still going to be very important, if not more important, because it's got to be a good enough idea that consumers are going to want to interact with it. So we can't dismiss the need for great creativity and just be analytical and other things in the digital space. They have to work together. Speed is really important. It's something that sometimes as agencies we've not been really good at, and we need to be more nimble and have this sort of test, learn, optimize kind of approach and be able to put that in practice. But it's not easy. You need to have clients that are willing to pay for that. You need to have a team of people that are able to get the information and do something with it. But we're trying very hard to sort of change the culture and do more of that. It's very important. The business moves so fast, and the pace at which it's changing is actually accelerating. It's getting faster and faster. And you look at a site like Facebook, who didn't even exist a few years ago, and now you look at how important it is, and there will be another thing after the next thing. So I think it's really critical. One of the things that we try very hard to do is stay on top of the opportunity and innovation. I think that agencies can play a more important role for their clients in being a doorway into the opportunities. And I think Google and Facebook, these are things that we know about, but what's the next opportunity? What's the next innovation that we can bring to our clients? We try very hard in our offices to have those relationships with some innovative companies. We have relationships with venture capital firms and ask them, what are you investing in? What are some interesting new companies that you see potential in and why? And maybe we should meet them. Maybe we should have a conversation ongoing with you so you can introduce us to the next thing. And maybe we can bring that to a client and say, here's a really powerful idea for your brand. And you can be one of the first people to sort of take advantage of it. We're kind of all in this thing together, right? And I think that nobody's got it all solved. And I think there's a real opportunity for us to look at how things are changing and ideas on how we can be changing to take advantage of that and share that as an industry. So, advertising is kind of under attack, right? Consumers don't really value it. They don't want to see it. They can skip it. We're not going to be successful as an industry if we can't figure out how to give consumers something that they want. So I feel like when we get everybody together in a room and we talk about some of these things and we can learn from each other, at the end what you get is better content and is better communication for the consumer, which they value more, and then we as an industry are valued more, I think, right, as partners, hopefully. We'll continue in Estatus.